He remembers the first time he met her. He remembers the first thing she said. He remembers the first time he held her, and the night that she came to his bed. He remembers her sweet way of saying, "Honey, has something gone wrong?" He remembers the fun and the teasing, and the reason he wrote her this song. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the four winds, you know, blow away. They would walk down the street in the evening, and for years I would see them go by, and their love was more than the clothes that they wore could be seen in the gleam of their eye. As a kid they would take me for candy, and I'd love to go tagging along. They'd hold hands as they walked to the corner, and the old man would sing her this song. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the four winds, you know, blow away. Now he walks down the street in the evening, and he stops by the old candy store, and I somehow believe he's believing that he's holding her hand like before, 'cause he feels all her love walking with him, and he smiles at the things she might say. Then the old man walks up to the hilltop, and he gives her a daisy a day. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the four winds, you know, blow away. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the four winds, you know, blow away.
Any stars in my crown, when at evening the sun goeth down. I am thinking today of that beautiful land that I shall reach when the sun goeth down. When through wonderful grace by my Savior I'll stand, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in those mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? Oh, what joy it will be when His face I behold, living gems at His feet to lay down. It will sweeten my bliss in that city of gold. Should there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in those mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown?
I recall the day you came into this world. I couldn't believe the doctor when he said it's a little girl. I said, now, Doc, you must be wrong. You see, I wanted a boy. But then he laid you in my arms, and my heart sang for joy. Daddy's girl, you're the center of Daddy's world. I know you're Daddy's number one, 'cause he loves you like you was his son. Daddy's girl. I recall the day I took you to a baseball game. You brought along your baby doll and all its baby things. And we sat there playing house while the Dodgers played the Braves. And every one of the bleachers looked at us as if to say, Daddy's girl, she's the center of Daddy's world. I know she's Daddy's number one, 'cause he loves her like she was his son. Daddy's girl. I recall the day I took you on a fishing trip. You said, Daddy, won't that hook hurt the fish's lip? And you said if they don't get air, all those things in the can will die. So we turned all the worms loose and chased some butterflies. Daddy's girl, you're the center of Daddy's world. I know you're Daddy's number one, 'cause he loves you like you was his son. Daddy's girl. I recall the day that your young man came to call. Seems like only yesterday you swam and played football. But now I know the time has come that I must set you free. But you know, no matter where you are, you know what you are to me. Daddy's girl, you're the center of Daddy's world. I know you're Daddy's number one, 'cause he loves you like you was his son. Daddy's girl, Daddy's girl.
If I'd surveyed all the good things that come to me from above, if I could count all the blessings from the storehouse of love, I'd simply ask for a favor of him beyond mortal ken, and I'm sure that he'd grant it again. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day, when all our troubles and heartaches are vanished away. Then we'll enjoy the beauty where all things are new. I want to stroll over heaven with you. So many places of beauty we've longed to see here below, but times and treasures have kept us from making plans, as you know. But come the morning of the rapture, together we'll stand anew, and then we'll stroll over heaven with you. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day, when all our troubles and heartaches are vanished away. Then we'll enjoy the beauty where all things are new. I want to stroll over heaven with you. I want to stroll over heaven with you.
One day through primeval wood, a calf walked home, as good calves should, but made a trail all bent askew, a crooked trail, as all calves do. The trail was taken up next day by a lone dog that passed that way, and then a wise bell-withered sheep pursued the trail over vale and steep, and drew the flock behind him too, as good bell-wethers always do. And from that day, over hill and glade, through those old woods, a path was made, and many men wound in and out, and dodged and turned and bent about, and uttered words of righteous wrath, because it was such a crooked path. But still they followed, do not laugh, the first migrations of a calf. And through those winding woodways stopped, because he wobbled as he walked, the forest path became a lane that bent and turned again. This crooked lane became a road, where many a poor horse with his load toiled on beneath the burning sun, and traveled some 3 miles and one. And thus a century and a half they trod the footsteps of a calf. Each day 100 or 1,000 stout followed the zigzag calf about, and over his crooked journey went the traffic of a continent. And thus 1,000 men were led by one calf 3 centuries dead. They follow still his crooked way, and lose 100 miles a day. And thus such reverence is lent to a well-established precedent.